afternoon, everybody. I'm your host, Sonia Kriplani, and I'm very, very eager for this session because I'm about to interview interview not just a celebrity weaver, but someone who's a change maker. For those who know me as a media tech entrepreneur, there's another side to me, a side of a design lover, a side who believes that design thinking will be the shift that we need. And on this journey, I started about 22 years ago when I built the first platform for e commerce for designers. It was a knowledge sharing platform followed up by an artist within and an artistic chain, which kind of brought together the whole ecosystem of fashion and artists, fashion designers and artists who could coexist and go live on that platform. And in that space, I realized that I needed to learn more. And I went on to get myself a cultural fellowship. This cultural fellowship taught me about the urgency to create a new thinking, a new mindset, to do things differently, to use design thinking, to use a strategic approach to creativity. As you know, we think India has a multitude of talent, but as we don't know that most of this talent is dying out. For example, we talk about chicken curry. Chicken curry is supposed to be the pride of Lucknow, the most unique things. But do you know today, China is making chicken curry probably to a same or similar quality, and they're actually selling it, and they're making it, of course, them doing it through machines, and they're even selling it in India as Indian chicken curry. Now, in this situation, how do weavers, how do artisans manage to survive? I came across a great platform called Tasara, which uses design thinking, which invites global artists and is setting new benchmarks in the world of tapestry design. Tasara, which is a Sanskrit word for shuttle weaving, is now an innovative and informative space. As I welcome Mr. Vasudevan, the visionary weaver behind this project, the founder of this project, I'm going to introduce you to him through a very, very beautiful video, which he shared spaces and created with us. Yash, can you please play the video?
Boasting about our craft and art, Ababa, India is the country for this culture, craft, and actually for the people who are really in it, does it work? It doesn't. We are now buying hand-spun silk from Assam, Chhattisgarh. The silkworms are grown in the forest. The tribal, they were going to the forest, collecting this and hand spinning like cotton. And they were weaving that, small width fabric, and they were stitching or wearing, using that as their dress. So finally, somehow slowly the outer world, the so-called, in quotation, civilized world, find about the texture and beauty of this project. And they came with a new word, ahimsa silk or non-violent silk. Now a hot cake, but still not for the people who spin the yarn. So they sell it for any price. People who finally market it, they get the major share. Like that is why, people like what you call Fab India, they all grow in India, because they don't even have a production center. Do you know that? Fab India doesn't have a production center. Then the whole government 30 years ago was thinking about how to increase the production of handloom, how to weave more meters every day. The government came out with Chittaranjan looms, where a man had to just sit and just to run a wheel by one of your feet. Then all the other things is automatic for this machine weaves. And what is the difference when you attach a small motor for that? Why do you engage the precious life of a man to pedal this? That's a kind of wrong way. That may be one of the reasons why this clicked. I never think myself as a weaver. I never call myself as an artist. I call myself as a creative person. But I was always a kind of rebellious or revolutionary in my life, and even now, even at this age, I revolt against many things in the society. The press was asking a very relevant question to me. When the whole world is going high-tech, why do you try to take up this age-old craft which is outdated? Since why this clicked, I said, that is what I am taking it. I am going to use the weakness of this craft. The main accusation of this craft is that it is very slow. How much a weaver can weave? And I said, I am going to make it still slow. I am trying to see whether I can weave and live with, if I weave 1 inch a day. That is what we are doing. That is a great advantage of that. Reducing the production is, there is always a queue for your products if it is good, of course. Tradition has to be respected, and tradition has to be continued, and tradition has to be contributed. Revolting against everything existing and trying to do things in a different way. That is why it took off. Doing things in a different way, not in a linear way, in a lateral way. Now, majority of the energy of any product goes to marketing. You have to play 100 gimmicks to sell a thing. But for somebody who is making exclusive things and it is 1 inch or 2 inches a day, then there will be always a queue behind you waiting for their material. So all the press was there. So next day, all the newspapers in Chennai came with this big news of our exhibition, photos, and then Geeta Doctor, the art critic of Indian Express, she wrote a big article. She said, these are not weavings, these are woven paintings. And that was a big compliment for what we did. And I was invited for this auction. And the auction was managed by a kind of snobbish so-called promoters of craft and weaving in Chennai. The hall was full and I sat in the back row, There were many people on the podium whom I never met in life. So they were elaborately describing about the beauty of this project. Then one journalist, Anida Ratnam, I still remember her, she's a dancer. And she stood up and asked that lady who was elaborately explaining the thing, she asked, could you please explain about the process of this weaving? How do they do this? Then she was in trouble because she was never here, He said, I don't know. So maybe Vasudevan could explain the process. Vasudevan, are you there? From the back row, I just stood up. I said, yes, I am here. Could you explain? I said, no, I'm not coming there. Because, now this whole project seems like is being hijacked by the people who had nothing to do with this. This happened in my place with the help of my weavers, my family and myself. And thinking about, I am rather educated and I think I am rather clever. If this is the fate of me, then what will be the fate of the ordinary, uneducated, poor weaver of India who are in the clutches of these so-called promoters, snobbish promoters, Weavers never got credited for any of their works. Weavers' position in India was always pathetic. Many were doing this craft because they never knew anything else to do, to make a livelihood. So they never calculated their wages by hour or by day. Something is better than nothing. Kerala never had a history of weaving. We never even had weavers in Kerala. So all the weavers was migrated to Kerala. And many weavers in Kerala were brought by the kings or the temples, around their temple they built their weavers street. Tradition of Kerala weaving started after the Basel mission started weaving factory in Calicut. The missionaries who came to convert people to Christianity. So the big attraction for conversion was you get a job the next day, an offer. So they started the tile factories in Calicut and the weaving factory in Calicut to attract people to convert. The Bangalore regiment of British military accepted khaki as their uniform color. That khaki was also produced in this Commonwealth factory. And then indigo. Indigo, when it was adopted as the uniform for the British Navy, they sent a lot of shiploads of factory woven fabrics, white fabrics to India and to Commonwealth also, and get it dried in indigo and re-exported it to use it as a uniform for their naval wing in England. So Calicut has a big history of modern Indian weaving. Tasara and me, for no reason or for a reason, happened to be in Calicut. And artisans were never paid well in India, now and then. Weavers are quitting this job all over the world and especially in India because their next generation is not going to weave at all. They have seen their parents and their families struggling to live in poverty even after weaving for 12 hours, 13 hours a day, the whole family. So who wants to say this? Money is a main factor, So this is vanishing very fast, especially when the social situation in a state is improving like in Kerala, There are few pockets in India, in Rajasthan and in Gujarat and Bhuj and in West Bengal, where people are still very, very poor. They are continuing this job because they don't have any other job to do. This is scope. Then the only way to bring alive to some extent is getting the newly educated people, academically educated people to weaving, not marketing. If you want a saree just made for you, then there is a market for that. The only thing is, to make it exclusive, and a craftsman, it's not a statement just for the weavers, it is for any craft people. And if you can make good cup for tea, there are people who can spend any money on that, So you have to target the people who can buy your exclusive products. India in many ways, even though we are a poor country, India is a rich country in many ways. And Eastern art, especially Indian art was, art was nothing just out of our being. That was not something for the wall. That is why wearable art was a big thing in Indian weaving. You walk like a piece of art. See a saree, it's a piece of art. And when a woman is cladded in a saree, she's a walking piece of art. I had always a dream of having my own project. So that was the time where we decided to announce our workshop. Then we started to get many visitors and many textile students and faculties, and it still continues. But at the same time, the feedback and the support from the Indian artists was very, very, almost nothing. So even now when I think about an international workshop, it is mainly the foreign textile community who actually nurtured us, supported us and promoted us in every way. If I ask any Indian artist whether can you come for this workshop, and what they ask is how much you are paying us. So this is the attitude of Indians and Indian artists towards any craft. Even M.F. Hussain approached us 2 times personally with his painting, could you please do it for me? I said, I'm very sorry, because that's against our philosophy. We don't do any tapestry without their active participation and without they being here for the whole time. One Indian artist, S.G. Vasudevan, his tapestries are beautiful, like his painting, but it's done by a weaver, and that weaver is kept as a secret. Even his name is not credited in any of his pieces or in exhibitions. Weavers never got credited for any of their works. When I give a briefing for my weavers just before the first workshop, I told them, whenever these artists leave the loom, you stop working. You are not executing their designs. They have to be there and they have to participate in the process. Hussein's paintings into tapestries, our life would have been secured for the entire rest of the period. But I was adamant in that philosophy from the base first itself and until. And apart from tapestries, we are now teaching and exploring many other surface design techniques like shibori, multicolor batik, many things. You can see it on our Facebook. What happened to Tasara? That is, we are a good example of that. If you are making things with a difference, things which are exclusive, then there is always a market opening up, because the big advantage of modern marketing and corporate marketing is they have an eagle eye. They fly very high, and whenever there is a small change in a product anywhere in the world, they spot it and they come to you. So that is what happened for us. I'm disappointed in one way that but no youngsters took Tasara as a role model project for them to continue with, because we never restricted anybody from coming here, seeing it, documenting it, learning it. So why didn't anybody started this kind of a project, or any other project like this, any other craft? I was reiterating and talking about this running around the world. The same thing, I haven't changed my philosophy for years. I always had this opinion, and this was my take, but still nobody came. It's not late. Finally, the government, I didn't invite the minister to my workshop. So this time he came by himself with all these officials of tourism and responsible tourism. With their help and with the help of other medias and things like, I think we can make it a hit, and we can get some people drawn to the attraction of this thing. So I'm happy that, never, I told him that also, better late than never. Finally you came, even though I am old. So you got interested. So that's a good sign actually.
I would love to introduce you a little bit more to Mr. Vasudevan. I think that film explains mostly. But I would like to tell you that he was inspired by his siblings, who also have become and gone on to make benchmarks in this world, in the world of weaving and crafts and arts. Santha and Balakrishnan is what inspired Tasara, and his legendary siblings kind of also encouraged him to push boundaries. Now he creates unique tapestry, diverging from the conventional form. His style of weft and wove, and hand painting, and using mixed media is also, like you heard, called woven art. He has set a lot of global footprints by working and showcasing at a lot of prestigious museums in Europe and the US and everywhere else, including India's prestigious Kochi Biennale. The reverence he commands reflects through the impact he's making on the textile sector. Tasara is his baby, which is a platform for learning and artistic exchange. It's an inspiring space, as you can see. very scenic indeed, which attracts weavers and global artists from across the world. He trains them in several art forms, but with a clear focus of reinventing the weaves. Much as I'd like to go into much more depth, but I'd like him to introduce us to Sutra, the International Art and Textile Retreat, which he's hosting on Feb 1st to March 1st, where 100 artists from across 50 countries will be attending in a hands-on way in Beypore, Kerala. He wants to connect the local communities and immerse the visitors into Kerala's culture and weaving techniques. On that note, please tell us a little bit more about Sutra.
Thank you, Sania. I think there is nothing more to say. It's a great production you have made, and it's a great presentation. I think I don't have anything more to add to that. But in theory, this is a tribute to our sister Shanta, whom you mentioned. She passed away last December, all of a sudden. And she was a kind of backbone of this project. And with us, she also created Tasara. So in a way, this is a tribute to her, that we are giving a kind of retreat of art and textile for 100 artists from around the world, something like 50 countries. And it's for free. We are providing them food and accommodation and materials to work for a whole month. So we don't have, as I told you before, we don't have any support from the government. And we, in principle, don't accept any financial support from corporates. So it's not easy, I'm still struggling with my finance. So my friends are helping it. 1 lakh minimum and 2 lakhs maximum. So, and their friends also, because these are my long-term friends who had been with us for more than 30 years. So they know me and they know our project. So it's going to happen, It's not easy. Still, I'm concerned about the finance and funds, but it will happen. It will happen. And I have some prestigious contributors from India and abroad, my friends, of course. The superstar of Malayalam, Mr. Suresh Gopi. He was the first to contribute me 2 lakhs even without me asking. Then very famous artist living in Paris for last 55 years, Mr. Vishwanath, he contributed. Then the former French finance minister, Mr. Christian Sutra, is a kind of, you cannot say friend, but we know each other. And he contributed. So, I have big and small and medium people helping me, because they love this project and they are contributing for a cause. So it is happening.
Yeah.
It is happening. We are now, we are spending money like what you call anything. It flows out,
I know everybody's going to ask, so where do they spend money? So I want you to tell people exactly how you create Sutra, the dance experiences, the song experiences, how you energize the village. And that's why I left that part out of the film, because I wanted to tell them how Sutra is. What is the day? What is the experience of Sutra? So think I'm an artist coming there. Please tell me what's the experience I'm going to have.
I think, the mantra of Sutra is basic, organic, and environmental. So I have briefed all of them. Don't expect any luxuries here. We are sharing our lives. That is basic, and it's not bad at all. Comparing to millions of poor Indians, we are kind of blessed people who live in luxury in comparison. So in a country,
I'm sorry to interrupt. So basically you're saying that you're going to invite an artist in and invite them into the homes around. Am I right? That the entire village is opening up their doors for artists to come and stay. Is that
and and the local community, because I cannot accommodate everybody in our guest houses. And the local community have opened up their private homes for 1 month, I asked them, borrowed them one room. with a basic toilet and a bed and a fan. So there now we are excess of space. I think next year, if I am still alive, I can think about a workshop for 200 people from 100 countries. So that is the response from the locals.
Amazing. So it's a
Yeah,
whole
I am
village
excited.
that's putting up sutra, not just
No,
Tasara. It's Tasara being supported by the entire village.
yeah, social participation, Then one of my artists from Italy, I am not telling her name, she was asking me whether she will get social participation for going to the beach and collect the rubbish and make a kind of art out of that. I said, no, that's a kind of negative art, coming to a country with an abundance of natural material. Why do you think about plastic? Why do you think about rubbish? And she said, no, to create an awareness against plastic. Then as a joke, I asked her, do we have to shoot each other and kill each other to create an awareness about against war? That's a negative way, That's a negative way. So let the art be very positive and creative, not negative.
I agree with
So
you. Having been to Beypore, having been to where you are, even the Commonwealth factory where we were shooting and the Uru weavers where we were working, there was no plastic. Even they were bringing their food in their homemade packets. They weren't carrying plastic, which really surprised me. So you are in one of the most scenic and beautiful parts of India, and an aware
and
part.
not not exactly, but much better than in many parts of India,
True, very true. So, sir, can you tell me something? When an artist will be there and you have everything available for them, what is the benchmark you have kept for an artist to participate? What is a requisition? One. The second question would be, as an artist, you've created a lot of influences to be given to them. So you're creating kudiyatam, you're training them, you're entertaining them, you're taking them to the temples, you're immersing them into the scene of the weavers. You're making a weaver and an artist participate together. Can you share that part, please?
The art or craft, whatever you call it, it is not just isolated from life. It's part of our life. We live our art, we live our, craft, and we live even our performing and everything. That's part of life. Now it's rather Western and modern that they separate life from art. As you mentioned, it's not something to be put somewhere else and you to look at it. It's a bedspread, nicely woven or hand printed bedspread. It's a piece of art for you to sleep on. And a rug you walk on, that's a piece of art. And through all this, even though you don't produce, it's a way of expression. You express yourself, somebody coming to your home and see the carpet, the rubbish carpet you use. If they see the aesthetic sense of a family behind it, or the individual behind it, a cup, when you are offered a cup of tea, and even that cup speaks about your life, your aesthetic sense,
True.
Of course, you have to afford that, and many people, they cannot afford it. They use a cup which is available for them, a broken vessel to cook, because they cannot afford it. But even, filthy rich people, they live without a sense of aesthetics. That I have seen, and we are not from that group of people who live recklessly without thinking about the nature, because without thinking about beauty of life. So that is the experience we share with these people. So the food we eat now, and some of them were asking for menu and the photos of their accommodation facility, bed, bathrooms. I said no. Only one thing this is not a 5-star hotel. I am inviting you to my home, theoretically, and to my friends' houses. And we all are sharing the way we live with you. and it's not that bad. It's not that bad. So, but one thing I can assure you, you will get a place slightly better than the place where I sleep usually. And you will get food it's slightly better than me and my family eats every day. So that's a promise. And all is connected as you connected it, with tourism. And there is only one slogan in tourism: promise what you can deliver and deliver exactly what you promise. So there is no big, you don't have to be a management expert to do this. This is a basic. Be transparent, be true to your clients. They are your friends, or they will be your future friends. I'm traveling around the world, even without living in a hotel. I have friends all over the world and they invite me. Sometimes I have a choice where to sleep, where to stay. I have a choice because only through my art or project. So that is amazing, it is not planned, it's just happened. That's it.
You spoke about the importance of luxury of money so a person can be free of mind to explore aesthetically. And in our history, in our royal history, we used to see that. We used to see our kings, like you mentioned in the film, the artisanal streets were created by the temples and the royals who permanently gave them a living. Unfortunately, post royal India, post independence, the weaver has become the poorest of the poor. And like you rightly said, weaving and art have become air kissing cousins. Like, I don't recognize you, you're just a craftsperson. That has happened sadly in our culture. How is the poor weaver going to ever be able to create a differentiator because he is stuck between what he earns in the morning and what he gives his family in the night? How do you think the change will come to their lives?
And this is a matter of education. So without education, and education I'm telling it's not about cultural education, it's academic or modern education. Without that, you cannot read the world, you cannot define the world, you cannot understand the world. So the only thing is, that is why this whole project is the second, apart from a tribute to my sister, the other main objective of this whole retreat is to attract our young and educated youngsters, to attract to this kind of crafts or arts, whatever you call it. And when they do it, it will make a difference. Because they know about the modern aesthetics, they know about the modern marketing. So their fate will not be the fate of their forefathers, for sure. So how to convince them? As yet, I'm very sad and disappointed that I couldn't commit them, I couldn't attract them. So let us see in front of them. This is a great effort to make them realize that this many people from this many nook and corner of the world are coming by spending this much money. For them, it is not free. An artist from Guatemala or from Costa Rica or from Argentina have to spend more than $2,000 for their ticket. So, and they are not filthy rich people, So if they are coming with this passion towards textile, and they are not coming for tourism, they are coming to focus on this project, and they are going to interact between other artists, and they are going to create some kind of art, So if and let our new generation, local generation who have access to see this, let them realize, oh, it's not that bad, There is a big room, there's an empty space for us. And so that is the main. Can you hear me?
Absolutely, I can hear you. And almost on cue, we have Erica Megam join us. Erica Megam is a young girl from Northeast who did something heartwarming this year. She got along with a village of Garo and Bodo tribes, and she single-handedly created a creative festival for them. She wanted to put her village, which was not even on the Google map. She was determined to put her village on the Google map, and she was determined to get the handicrafts people recognized by the board because they were not recognized, they were off the grid. So they would never get any upskilling, education, and everything. And Erica, I think if you've missed that message, I'm going to send it to you again. Vasudevan ji said that he says he wishes young people like you can go and learn so that you can take it forth to the world. And I think Erica is the perfect person. And I will speak to you about it since Julie is coming. I wanted Erica also to come. So I'm really glad Erica has been able to join in. She is the kind of person that you seek to, and I completely understand where you come from. Just let us talk a little bit about the art experience of Tasara. I'm going to take you right back there. I have seen that your role is that of a mirror. You hold the mirror up in front of the artist and the weaver, and you kind of conjoin the whole experience, and you break the glass ceiling and you say, now go next. What is next for you? What are you going to create together? Can you tell us how you do this curation, how you do this, how you create this bridge between the weaver and the artist?
No, I think this is, this time, for the first time, we are not going to teach anybody anything. So this is a skill sharing experience. As experiment, and we have people with a lot of potentials, artists, and let them learn from each other and teach each other. So there will be a hell a lot of workshops going simultaneously on our 100-meter long working table. And
I've seen that working table.
you are going to see more. So anyhow, then now, weaving is far away from using a loom. Anybody can weave now. It is called fiber art. Any art you use using fiber is fiber art. So textile, the art of textile art and art, what do you call? The differential narrow line is very, very feeble and weak. So anything could be textile art. And ultimately, even if you are a painter, you paint on a canvas which was once hand woven. Still you can. So let's keep it open. So the whole concept of weaving of the Indians, traditional Indians, let it get changed. Oh, can this be woven other than bedspreads, bath towels, and a dress fabric? So let us show the people, not let us, all together, we 100 artists all together, let us show the outer world, because it has a wide reach. This retreat has a wide reach. If I have participants from 45 or 50 countries, that is 1/4 of the whole world countries. The total country of the world is 198 or 94. What's that? 98. 198. So we are going to have 25% of the whole world.
Yeah.
So the reach is, unimaginable. Then people like you have a very, very, very creative and potential role in it. Media, whether it's a private media or a public media or social media, you have a great role to make this established in people's mind. So, propagate it, because I don't have any hidden agenda. Because for me, increasing my business, that time is over. You can see, for me, money making period in my life is over. And I was never interested, but at this age, never at all. So this is just, giving back, returning something to the world, to the universe. And what happened to that, it's none of my business. People let them carry this message or throw it away, including you people, media people. Carry on or just leave it. You can think, oh, it's not worth to carry on this, what rubbish is happening. Oh, this is something which has to be repeated, not by Vasudevan, from somebody else, with a more by a more potential force, it has to be repeated. Repeated means, not in the same way. In history, nothing was repeated in the same way. So, but things were repeated in the multiple way. So that is, I don't have any fancy imagination of the fate of this project and the future and the impact of this project. So I leave it open to the universe, to the participants, to you people.
Thank you. Thank you.
To you people, yeah. And the Far East lady, but that young lady, I forgot her name. What is her name?
Erica.
Erica is not late for her to come and join us.
Exactly. I told Erica that. I said, I'll be speaking to you today. And that's why I insisted, though she's in a place where she hardly gets bandwidth, I told her you have to attend because I want to introduce you to Mr. Vasudevan. And she is packing a bag and coming. I can promise you that.
Okay, we can give her a bed, a bowl of rice, no problem.
I promise you she'll return it when you reach to Assam. She will return it with lots of love. But before I go on elsewhere, I want to ask one question before I throw the room open. Vasudevanji, you mentioned something called creativity. You mentioned how it had to be disrupted. You mentioned innovation. Now, our Indian culture is all about confirming. If you take one line away of art or you do something that is not photoreal, it is not, as an artist, you are okay. It is your imagination. As a weaver, it becomes, oh, it's a defective piece. You want to tell us and explain how we can, what is this challenge and how we can address this challenge?
Every weaver, you forget about the old generation of weavers. They have died out or are dying out. We cannot save them at all. We can save only this craft, elevating it to a next stage. And any youngsters, it could be from the weaver's family or from other walks of life. They are the savers. Let us put our hope on them. Then every piece, a rubbish sari, make it exclusive. So you don't have to learn any new craft or technique to weave a sari different. Keep changing your mentality, attitude. Oh, this, my father or mother was weaving this for ages. I should not weave it. Make a little change, an extra touch. And that extra touch can be done by any weaver. So, but that mentality, if they don't have that mentality, somebody have to open up them and educate them about this mentality. Oh, why don't you? There is the part of a designer, a socially committed designer. There's no point of getting disappointed. Oh, this weaver cannot weave my design. No, that's not the way. And a designer, a creative and socially responsible designer, should get something different from the existing skill and from the existing weaver. So that we can, and add an extra color, add an extra touch, add an extra feather. That makes it exclusive.
True.
Then instead of one boring market, you have few interesting market. That's enough.
True. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to leave the floor open. Vinu, Erica, I'm sure you're busting with questions. Please ask.
Erica, tell us more about yourself and,
Hello.
Hello. By the way, Sania, that was such a great, you're a great co-host. That was so informative. Your questions are amazing.
Thanks. Erica spoke yesterday, so I'm going to leave the floor only for Vasudevan today. And can you just, any questions you have, any thoughts, any critique? I know he welcomes it all.
Throughout this, I was thinking that he said that he doesn't take any help from corporations, but I'm sure there are corporations that have wings that, you know, that are worthy of being their patrons, because you always need a patron. Unfortunately, like he said, education is important at the moment. The Indian youth is just largely is on an imitation spree of the West. You know, the way they dress, they don't have the education for the exclusivity, and you know what goes into creating something original. So unfortunately, you do need a good patron, a good role model. And I was even thinking, you know, when you go to Venice and they have these glass factories which sell exclusive stuff, there are small pieces that are made by the students, and they are sold at a cheaper price. And I wondered if there could be a exclusive private school that would hold a summer camp for the children, you know, where they can learn this from the artists and create small pieces, like even hijabs, eh, which are small, but there is a growing market for them, or just something like that, so that the, you know, people are involved hands on and they see. So there is no imperfect piece in this. There is no imperfect piece, because every piece has been created by you, and there is no definition of perfection in this, because everything is different. And also I noticed, you know, about the tapestry with the artist's name not there. I purchased some tapestries in Brussels, and there's and unfortunately again, there the name of the painter who paints the four seasons, spring, summer, autumn, winter, different every year. And I purchased summer, and Kanchan purchased the whole set of another year. Same story, the name of the weaver was not there. Very sad. So that, I mean, that really needs to be dissolved. I didn't even think about that, and I thought, oh my god, I have 5 pieces that, you know, are woven from a painting, and I don't know, you know, the weaver is. And then I have a big one with Thomas Kincaid. Again, the name of the weaver is not there, but Thomas Kincaid is there.
In
So it's
Thomas's
really,
case, Thomas weaves himself. Just just to put you on the track, because I've curated some of Thomas's pieces. He tends to
yeah.
weave himself. Yes, he's not getting external weavers wherever he
No,
gets.
Thomas Kincaid?
Yeah, yeah,
Really?
really, yeah.
Oh,
So
but
he
he's
tends
not
to.
a weaver.
No, no, he has specially learned weaving to create tapestries and woven art. He and Salima Halabi, both.
Oh, I think we are talking of different people. This man is dead. He
Yeah,
died
yeah.
recently.
Even
Really?
yeah, yeah. Even
Wow.
Salima Halabi is about 85.
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah. They were.
But
Really?
Zania,
Yeah,
there's no wonder. You know, you can see tapestries of Picasso,
yes,
tapestries of Mondrian, John
yeah,
Miro,
yeah.
but
And
who is the weaver?
Nobody knows.
yeah,
Nobody knows.
that's really,
Maybe even Picasso never knew. It
No, I
goes through
agree.
some agent. It goes through some agent
yeah.
Yeah.
and get it
And maybe
done.
more than one.
Yeah, yeah,
There
exactly.
should be.
So
And to come back to your sponsorship, you know, patronships, do we
Mm.
want to go back to the patronships of kings? No, that
Well,
is why the weavers remained poor. The so-called,
really?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because, you know, these patrons, so this is why they became lazy. Or these weavers were weaving for them, weaving for the temple. So they were the patrons. So let us forget about the patrons. If the thing which you do is not able to give you a good life, then why do you do that? So be strong to deny any help from the corporates, because, you know, I'm against corporates. So I think small individuals or small groups can change the world. So we somehow we don't believe in our strength as an individual or as a small group. Look through the history. Major changes of the history was started and won by individuals or
Yes.
a group of individuals.
So collective,
So and
Yes,
and this is,
informed collective.
we human beings and many animals follow a leader. So be a leader, not a follower. So be confident.
I'm going to call a leader in. Erica, what are your thoughts? I don't know if you heard the whole thing about Sutra, but Sutra is the format where they actually have created a platform for weavers and artists to come and participate and create beautiful woven art. And in this, they create an experience which is involved with travel, and it kind of gives a learning and a transformative experience to the artisans as well as to the local weavers. So I think you missed that part. That's why I'm repeating it. And with that, he's created the first benchmark, which probably will tend textile hubs and textile, and especially small ones like you see in Rangagara or in Tejpur, will change under this vision. I'd love you to ask questions, to interact with Vasudevan ji, because I think you'll have a lot to share with each other.
Of course, I do think that it is my privilege to sit here today and talk with Mr. Vasudevan. And I've always been checking out on him, like stalking actually, which is a trending thing among everybody right now. We stalk people we like. So what I have is that we have this tribal motives and tribal, ethnic weavers and everyone. We have this traditionally woven clothes which has no market now. It is only the tribals who wear it, but when you go outside the region or outside our place, it is of no value to anyone because people don't know what to do with it. But if we use the techniques and the modernization, the way he has put in weaving to our tribal ethnic wares and ethnic designs, then I believe that even the tribal clothes and tribal motives which are there individually, which is different for every tribe, can be accentuated more, and it can be showcased in the world through a different lens. So
No, I think
I think in a way, what Vasudevan sir is doing is very, what do you say, motivational for the people who are aware about his work. But I need people to understand more about his work. And also, it is a good opportunity for people from Northeast to understand his work, and with that, along with the modernization, move towards what he's doing and understand his work as well. Because it is not helping art, it is also helping the artisans. So I would like Vasudevan sir to help me understand, or maybe give me an idea as to how we can use our tribal whatever motives and whatever we have, the ethnic designs, how to incorporate in the modern way, in a modern.
The first and foremost thing is, don't be a tribal again. Don't be a tribal always. Why do we call ourselves tribal? What is the difference between a tribe and a modern? And at some point, we were all tribes. So
Yes.
that concept of tribal, don't put you down. You are not tribal. That leave it to some kind of what you call, historians or anthropologists. You are now a modern society, a modern living being, and you just create for a market. So using the same technique, you can make many other things. If you can give one motive, whether you call it tribal or local or regional, you can weave many motives which could be modern, which could be global, which could be more aesthetics, and leave the concept of tribal colors, tribal motives, but use that experience and knowledge. That is how tradition grows. Then if you stay back,
I don't want to Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, continue.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but I think the tribal aspect I personally feel is very important because it's your identity, it's your exclusivity. And why would you want to dilute it with what is modernization? Modernization is changing, whereas this so-called tribal, uh, it is. In fact, I think it's a very important thing to preserve, and it's centuries old. And then you can
Yeah,
define your own tribe. In fact, every tribe or every artisan group should have a motif or a sign, like how, the gold in gold jewelry, they have a mark. And if you can't put the name of the weaver on the tapestry, every tribe should have their mark to be recognized that we did this. And honestly, the designs, because when I was a child, my mother only wore cotton, and in Delhi there is a whole row of emporiums. And I remember she would go from Assam Emporium. We had blankets from there, her clothes, different things from the West Bengal Emporium, Odisha curtains, saris, and they are all different.
Vinu,
So
you're
I
absolutely
think you
right.
say
I'm
modern
I'm
might
sorry to
allude.
interrupt, Vinu. Just give me a minute. I think what he
Yeah,
means is slightly different. May I interpret this? So,
yes, please.
like I mentioned, and he spoke in the film, he said, I believe in tradition, but I believe that tradition needs to be reinvented and given a new feature. That's what he is talking about. And he's saying, in India, there's a stigma on the tribal mentality in words. Let me tell you, when I say I'm showing a tribal film, they say, oh, you're showing an Adivasi film. When I showed a Santal film, they said, you're showing an Adivasi film. What he's talking about is breaking that stigma, not about leaving behind the tribe or your community motive. He's talking about breaking that stigma of being patronized. Am I right?
exactly. Do we, I know, do we want to keep them as tribes for our fancy, for our, entertainment?
Exactly. He's talking
But
about
why
that.
is it a stigma? It is
Sadly,
who
it
we
is.
are.
Sadly, it is. Today, ask Erica, she suffers it. So for years, people will not go to the Northeast. I did a session, I did 3 sessions in the last 3 days, and there's another session today where they will tell you in their own words, and I will send a replay of Erica's sing, where they treat them as people that they go and see dance, sing, and do that. Now there are people breaking the barrier who are saying, come, interact. We're not there so that you come have a meal with us and watch us dance. No, interact with us, live with us, understand our culture, go to the hills for a walk with us, take out our medicinal plants, understand what we're doing. So, what they're doing is they're taking the blend of the past, but they're breaking that stigma of being put behind. He mentioned a word, remove that tribal stuck mentality, that patronage mentality. That's what Erica fights. Am I right, Erica? And that's what Vasudevan is also talking about. They're not talking about give up the tribal or the community thing. In fact, they are talking about how we revive it and reinvent it. They're talking about the stigma. Am I being able to
Yeah.
hear the differentiator?
Yeah, I do
And
understand. And it's
just,
really
just,
sad.
just,
I think
just tell me,
they represent
just let me tell
very
one example.
differentiated.
Years ago, I had two companies, one British company and one Scandinavian company, bringing textile tourists to my place. And after 2, 3 groups, they stopped it. Then I asked, why did you stop that? Why were you not satisfied? They said, Vasudevan, you speak the language which we speak in our country, English. You live like we live in back home. Why do we come to you? We want to go to the remote village weavers in Rajasthan
Yeah.
and to share 1 or 2 days, share their life with us. Then I asked them, and if they also are improving their living standard, will you go there? No, because this is a kind of
Oh.
cruel tourism, cruel mentality of our modern human
This is
being.
what
Hmm.
he's talking about.
You
This is
want
what
to
he's
see them.
addressing.
Yeah,
That's
so
really sad.
that is happening in our society.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's like
go and see the
voyeurism.
tribes dancing in a very, very basic and primitive way. For you, it's a fun. And they dance in front of you just to make next meal. So this is what the tribal concept of our society which I am talking about. So let them have an identity as a
Yeah.
human, not as a tribe.
Yeah.
This anecdote just sent chills down my spine. I
Yeah.
mean, they're
That's
totally
exactly what he's
uneducated. Yeah,
talking
that's
about.
just
And
very
that's what
sad.
Erica
Shocking.
fought with, you know. So when Erica came to me with the idea of doing a festival, I said, but Erica, this hotel does the same festival, this hotel does the same festival. And Erica told me one line. She says, ma'am, they do the festivals to improve their business. We are doing the
That's
festival to represent ourselves. And
exactly.
Wow.
that was the glass ceiling for me. I said, yes, Erica, I'm behind.
Yeah. Amazing.
And,
You remember that,
More
Erica?
power.
taking the tribal to Delhi for Republic Parade.
Yeah.
Mm.
And they're like animals, like they take elephants, you know.
Erica,
They
you
are
want to tell them what
showcase.
But
happened?
I
I'm just
don't
going to
think
ask.
that is.
Hold on, guys. I'm going to tell Erica what she was treated to right now in Delhi Mahotsav. For right now, all the 7 states were supposed to come for a festival called Uttar Purvi. Every one of them put their money, their lifestyle, everything. For months, they have worked on creating crafts. The moment they reach Delhi, they land at the airport. Remember, these people have put months and months of their livelihood, some of them even their full year of livelihood. Erica and I will share you a video where they were crying because they reached there and they were told in a very unpredictable way, sorry, dears, but we've canceled the festival.
Oh no.
Erica, you want to tell them what happened?
Right.
Unmute
Shame.
yourself. Unmute yourself. There were scenes of people crying, people breaking down. Erica, unmute yourself. You're muted. That's how they treat him. That's what Vasudevan was talking about. Against this mentality, against this thing.
So it was very unceremoniously, uh, told to us that yes, it has been cancelled, and lots of people, not only us, it is like all the states, 7 states from Northeast and Sikkim, which is considered as the only brother of 7 sisters. We all reached Delhi, and there were these dancers coming in, and so many people, some were with art and crafts, some with dancers, everyone was there. And then suddenly it was decided that since home affairs ministry couldn't give us time for that, so it was cancelled. So it was like a shock to us, and it was very heartbreaking. We did took our stand, and we requested them that we could have another date for this festival, because it means a lot. It is like Uttar Purvi Mahotsav. What does it mean? It means the Northeast Festival, where we will show our tradition, where we will show our culture, where we will show how we have come from being primitive to modernized life, and where we are right now. Everything would have been showcased there, from the time our grandparents to our time, what we have come through and what is going on now. But it was all and it was just like in no time, just because somebody decided that they cannot come, or it is not easy for us to do it and whatnot. So everything was in place. We just had to start it, and it was just stopped.
And that's where Vasudevan says that a young person like
Yeah.
Erica is required, because what Erica did was she curated the things. She helped her weavers to create a beautiful design. She used new colors. She's been teaching them. Julie, if you know Julie Kakti, who I connected Vasudevan ji with you, they curated these things. And guess what? They went up and fought for it. That's why Vasudevan ji is saying, I need the new blood. I need the new ideas. I need the youth. I need
Yes.
to break their yesterdays to come into their tomorrows. Is that what you're saying, Vasudevan ji?
Yeah, these are, it's a funny incident. Once upon a time, I was said that there was a human museum, anthropological museum in Copenhagen.
Yes.
They showcased human beings from Africa, from India, from anywhere as animals. So visitors can go and see, oh, these are Indian human beings. These are African human beings. And in a way, we are doing it that. Why do we call them tribals? Why don't we call them Chhattisgarh people? Or why don't we call them Assamese?
Yeah. That's
So
what
this is this is for our fancy, you know.
yeah.
Don't call them tribals. Don't call them Adivasis. They are
Let's
human
call them
beings.
Garo, Bodos.
Yeah.
Let's call them Assamese, not Lap. No, you're right.
Yes.
Absolutely right.
Yes,
So
I
let's
agree. And also the platform you have, if it was arranged at your venue, it would not have been cancelled. So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
you need to, I think, stop expecting anything from the government because they are idiots. The government, they are, for them, it's a job, it's statistics, it's not the
It
creativity.
is
They
that the
don't
Home
have that
Minister does not have
understanding.
time to attend the event, so let's cancel the
Yeah,
event. It's as
yeah.
sad as that.
So a platform like Mr. Vasudevan's would be
Exactly.
autonomous and dedicated to the purpose.
You brought out a beautiful point. Now, let me tell you something that Vasudevan ji does, and which we are going to be working with him to bring to the world. Vasudevan ji does all that artwork you saw there. It is available for purchase. Some of it is, of course, available for purchase. So we would love people to talk about it because that's how it will make him more independent. Am I right,
Mhm.
Vasudevan ji?
No, I'm already independent. I'm already
No,
independent.
I mean, it'll make
Yeah, but
That is why I'm in a position to refuse any corporate funding.
true. Yes.
yeah.
But what I meant is that would actually help enhance the liquidity of keeping Tasara doing more.
Exactly. I can do more. I can do more.
Exactly.
That's
So
only. And that
we
also,
need to create
and then
awareness.
it will not be funded by corporates.
Exactly.
It will be funded by the money of the piece we sell or sold.
Okay. On that note, I promise to buy one piece for sure, like I
Okay,
promised
you're
you.
welcome.
And today, today,
But
not
you
even
still
tomorrow.
don't know my price. But still
Doesn't
you
matter.
don't
You
know.
decide. I'll give you my budget. You decide what I get. Okay.
Okay.
So Erica's back. Erica, you want to
Thank
say
you.
something?
Uh,
Yash, are we on time? I know we're running past time. Can you give us 10 minutes more?
Sure, ma'am.
Sure. Erica, what would you like to say to sir?
I just want to say that I think he is a figure, a motivational figure, and an icon which we youths do follow and do stalk him. He might be not aware of it, but there are people who are always keeping an eye on him, like us, who knows about him, but we pretend that we don't know him. So, sir should know that we youths do admire him and his work. And we also feel like he's a rebel who's taken an ethnic thing in such a way that people have now visions to see things which were very rooted to tradition and to ethnicity is put up in such a modern frame which everybody can relate. It is not only for us but for world to see. So I believe that if we have more people like Vasudevan sir, then we will of course reach new heights of art and modernism in weaving, and our artisans will open up to more avenues, and they will see more that they have more to it than just being traditional and being stuck up with the ideas. So that is all I have to say to sir. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for
Thank you.
bringing.
Thank you.
You're both very dynamic. It's such an honor for me to be part of this, to witness and to see your work. This Sanya is just amazing. She can find
Hardly.
diamonds.
I just hold the camera. They are the lights.
They are, yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much again for sharing spaces. I know it's graveyard hour over there. Thank you so much, Binu. Thank you so much, Erica, for coming in despite having zero bandwidth. And Vasudevan ji, you're an inspiration, as she rightly said.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You are doing a wonderful job. You are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.